Terapagos was just banned in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet OU, and that may have a lot of people asking, why? 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 Well, if you played the game, you would know why. Because the turtle was stupid. The turtle was broken. The turtle, it wasn't just the turtle was cooking. The turtle was more so, I want to say, probably committing crimes of arson rather than cooking. It was burning everything in its path. Literally, flamethrower. The coverage on that Mon is stupid, but let's get to Showdown and we can answer. I want to try and explain to y'all, if y'all already didn't have an idea, why Terapagos was banned. Alright, now listen, man. I understand you're looking at PNGs, first of all. They still working on updating Showdown, but, when you look at Terapagos, right, which I know, you say look at Terapagos, and you look right here, what is there? Nothing. But, Terapagos, I think, is like a very, very clickbait Pokemon. Wait, let's put Terapagos Stella right here, right? So, when you look at Terapagos, right, when you look at this one, this is the baby one. You can't see it, but this is the baby one. It doesn't look... This looks like a not fully evolved Pokemon. You know what stats this Pokemon honestly reminds me of? Freaking... We essentially got damn near Dugong. That's what baby Terapagos is, right? It literally, when you look at the stats, look at the stats there, look at the stats there. We go from, like, baby Terapagos even probably has better stats than Dugong. Same, look at that. The stat spread is damn near identical to Dugong, right? So essentially we got Dugong right here, right? But the difference between Dugong and Terapagos is, look at this damn move pool. Even if, let's say, the baby was just this, with this move pool alone, the baby would probably be, I'd say, maybe RU or something like that. Just, the stats don't look great, but a move pool can go a long way. False Swipe Gaming did a video, why move pools are almost everything. Look at this. Literally, every attacking type is covered here. You got literally whatever you need, right? Now, obviously, it's not going to use things like Bug Buzz. It's not going to use this. It didn't get X's, right? But it has moves of every type. And there's going to be types clearly it doesn't use. Like Bug. I don't think you need to use Steel. But regardless, we don't even need to be spending much time talking about the baby, right? Which makes it broken is as soon as you send this in, you don't even get to battle with this. The baby is just there. Like, the baby... I don't understand if there would ever be a scenario in which the baby stats matter. It's like Shedinja with, like, you don't... The H... Or Ditto. It's like Ditto, basically. Because Ditto's stats don't matter at all. Because there's never going to be a scenario where you're using base Ditto. So, as soon as you send it in, Terra Shift. As soon as this guy hits the battlefield, like, ASAP, as soon as he touches the battlefield, he turns into this. Another blank PNG. But it has these stats, which this base 600, this is some actual stats right here, right? And it's a really freaking balanced stats wise, right? When you have this great of an HP stat and both good defenses, and like this guy, it doesn't have a bad stat. Like, 85 is only a bad speed if, like, let's say you're trying to be, like, let's say you're trying to be a sweeper, right? So, let's say you're, like, trying to sweep, right? With base 85, you're not going nowhere. But when you're this bulky, being base 85 is fast. Like, when you look at the fat mons, let's look at a fat mon. Amoonguss, base 30 speed. Base 30 speed, right? Let's look at another fat mon. Let's look at another fat mon. Where's Blissey? Blissey, 55 speed, which Blissey, you would could honestly argue Blissey being on one of the faster side of, like, fat mons. Look at Don Dozo, base 35 speed. Like, Gliscor has honestly relatively good speed, but that Gliscor doesn't really count. Tusk, 87, which makes Tusk really good because it's faster than a lot of other Pokemon. Heatran, base 77, really good. But Terapagos has base 85 speed, man. It has base freaking... This is supposed to be the Stellar Terapagos. Yeah, this is the Stellar one. The stupid one. But this is stupid, okay? Having this good stats, this looks like a legendary move stat. Move pool. Now, you look at it and you see normal type. Normal honestly is not that great, right? But the move pool carries it. But not only that, like the move pool I keep mentioning, but this thing, if it's at full HP, the first hit it does at full HP. It's like multi-scale, but crazier. Instead of being multi-scale, it's the first hit is not very effective. So instead of it just being half damage, it's just not very effective. Which I think is better than multi-scale because, like, I don't know. It's just it's multi-scale, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's more consistent, right? It ignores tight matchups. Multi-scale does not ignore tight matchups, right? Because with multi-scale, you take half damage, but it still takes into account like multipliers, like super effective and stuff like that. With the Terra Shell, it doesn't matter what you do. With this, as soon as you send this guy out, if he's not chipped at all, the first hit is not very effective. So what does that mean? That means you can get a free setup. Calm Mind, a lot of people been using, like, a set I was using a lot of yesterday was Rock Polish, Calm Mind, and then you get Terra Starstorm, and then you Stored Power, and then you pretty much wreck everything right there. Terra Starstorm is a stupidly strong move, which is stab, because you're a normal type. You get the stab boost on this one, and I mean, when you look at the ghost types available, right, you got Ceruledge, but Ceruledge is going to drop to you. You have not seen that thing at all since the new since the Indigo Disc dropped, right? You got Dragapult is probably going to be the most common ghost type, but there isn't inherently a whole lot of ghost types. There's a lot of steel types, but a main trend with steel types is that if you notice, look at Cobalion, base 72 special defense, right? Corviknight has decent with 85. But look at something like, a lot of steel types lack in special defense, except Heatran. But even then, regardless, with a good, you're boosting your stabs regardless. So once you get a Calm Mind up, you can start shredding. Because of that high base attack, it's going to start tearing through things that are steel. I had Terra Steel on, like, Dondozo, and I was still getting packed up by Terra Starstorm, right? And not only that, I mean, the coverage on this guy is crazy. You could even run like a Calm Mind rest set, because every time you rest, you essentially, when you rest, only really have one turn of useless sleep, right? Where you're completely vulnerable. Because with rest, if you didn't know, rest only puts you to sleep for 2 turns, right? But the thing is when you rest, let's say you take an attack, right? You rest, you're at full HP. The attack you take after your full HP is half damage, right? So that means it's not going to do a lot, that first attack after you rest. So that means that second attack is going to be you're going to really need to worry about. But for getting full HP back, I think that's worth it. Especially when you take into account how bulky you are. It's not like you're losing bulk. You are freaking bulky, man. You're bulky, right? So you're going to be able to live hits. You max HP, max defense, you Calm Mind up, you're pretty much good on both defenses. And so when you rest, it's free, because the next attack you take, it's going to be half damage. And it doesn't matter if someone toxic you, because you could just rest off the damage. I don't even have rest right here, but like, you could just run the rest Calm Mind set right here. Oh. And then you get coverage out, like, you get so much coverage, bro. You get Earthquake, Earth Power, Flamethrower. Honestly, if this, you could probably just throw a choice specs on this thing and go crazy. But I don't think that's the best way to run. I think Calm Mind 3 attacks is probably going to be your best bet. You get Rest as recovery. I don't think this thing gets any other recovery, which I guess is the only thing that holds it back, is that it has to rely on rest. But honestly, because you're bulky, just throw in a damn leftovers. Use 3 attacks. Stored Power. I recommend running Stored Power if you're going with the like Calm Mind rest set, the Double Dance set. But if you're not running that, I'd recommend honestly just going like Aura Sphere, Flamethrower, Earth Power. You can do things like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. That Ice Beam and Ice and Electric are great coverage moves, so you can run both of those. You have, this is like Mew, but on steroids, right? Mew has the gimmick of having a really great move pool, right? But that's about it. I mean, Mew, crazily enough, is in RU, right? But the stats on Mew aren't nearly as crazy. Like, imagine if Mew, like, this is like, Mew has a great move pool, right? But its stats, 100, 100, 100 across the board is solid. Its ability, it doesn't really have an ability. Synchronize doesn't really do anything. But you give this thing essentially stupid multi-scale and better defenses. I mean, if anything, this has the same base stat total as Mew, except it takes some out of the speed, out of the attack. I mean, you're never going to really want to run physical attack with this guy anyway, excuse me. You're never going to even really want to run physical attack, so they sacrificed it there. But the extra bulk you get, it's just crazy. But not only that, this thing can freaking Mega Evolve. This is essentially a Mega Evolution because, you know, Mega Evolution was 100 base stats, right? A boost of 100, right? But the craziest part is that you actually get HP back when you terrestrialize, giving you 160 base HP and 130 special attack. You actually get more attack now, but the speed stays the same. That's crazy. A lot of times when Pokemon do this little upgrade thing, they'll lose speed, like Mega Garchomp loses speed. I think some evolutions lose speed, like I believe King Gambit loses speed. But regardless, this thing keeps the same speed stat, which is crazy. The fact that Amon can be this fast. Like, this is considered fast, right? I know 85 isn't the fastest thing in the world, but when you're this fat, you're fast, right? And so you essentially just Mega Evolve, right? This is essentially a damn Mega Evolution into the Terra Stella type. Stellar isn't even that great, but I just think the boost, you get a one-time boost. The way Stellar works, I learn more now, is that every type gets one boost, right? So I can use the Terra Starstorm on one, right? And then let's say I run Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Bug Buzz, or Body Slam. It doesn't matter. But let's say we're running this, right? Every move gets one boost, right? Which is kind of crazy. It's not the greatest thing in the world because I think you're gonna know what type you're gonna want to use the most. But you can't Terra into another type. You're locked into Stellar. But it's cool enough that like you Mega Evolve, and every single one of these moves gets a boost. Terra Starstorm becomes a nuke because it gets the extra boost because it's your stab. So you get that extra boost, right? And then on top of that, it's your stab. So you can just keep spamming this, bro. Normal type moves can be spammed a lot. And I believe, if I get this wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the way Stellar works is on Terra Blast. It makes Terra Blast neutral against everything. So if that's right, and this is essentially Terra Blast, I believe this means that... Oh yeah, it says Terapagos Stellar. It's a Stellar type. So I believe when it's a Stellar type, that means it can hit every move neutrally, which means there's no immunities, no resistances. Everything is neutral. And when everything is neutral and you have a boost, that means nothing resists, meaning you can just spam this thing. This thing is stupid, okay? There's literally no... This is just a crazy unhealthy mod. I think it was cool enough to let it be in OU just for like 24 hours because literally this thing was banned in less than 24 hours. It was crazy. Like it was that bad. But I just think it's funny how you go... you got the clickbait Terapagos, which is when the things were leaking. The leaks said Terapagos didn't look that crazy, right? But then in practice, this thing is nuts. It essentially evolves twice in the battle. Look at that. Look at the base stats. It goes from 450 to 700 to it goes from 450 to 600 to 700. In the span of you can evolve this guy. This is imagine if Pokemon could evolve in the middle of the battle. That's what this guy does. You go from the baby, like I said, you go from the baby to this, in the span of a battle, right? And if anything, it's if you leave this to be your last mon, let's say Terapagos is your last mon, and you didn't Terra, just Mega Evolve. Like, it's crazy. They brought back Mega Evolution essentially for one Pokemon, which is kind of nuts. But anyway, Terapagos is stupid. The turtle's banned. As soon as I saw this guy in practice, I just knew it was only a matter of time. I will like to think, what do I think is going to be banned next? I think we might need a little bit of time to discover what's more broken. I do think the Axis defense is stupid. Like, I think this right here is just... You can argue about, like, oh, you can trick it, oh, you can taunt it, but... I think just doing this... You can run knockoff, but I like to do charge beam, cosmic power, recover, and then you have stats like this. This is unhealthy. I don't think this is healthy. This is like Zamazenta. Even if you don't want to run the stored power set, you could just run, like, I don't know. You could run psychic, whatever. This guy, Deoxys has a stupid move pool. You can run Psycho Boost, which I like to run on Deoxys Speed. Deoxys Speed, I do think, is honestly not that bad. I think Deoxys Speed is actually low-key balanced. I don't think Deoxys Speed is problematic. I don't think Deoxys Speed needs to get looked at. But, I mean, you also have Teleport. You can freaking just teleport out of there. It's one of the few mons that still has Teleport. Clefable was stupid with Teleport last gen. But you can just teleport this gen. You have Recover, which was nerfed to APP. But the fact that you could just... I think Deoxys's defense's biggest problem was that it was Psychic, which is not the greatest defensive type. But you could just Terra Steel. Or Fairy. Like, this... And you could just have these defenses. Like, the HP is not the greatest, but when you max invest 304 HP, this is stupid. Like, this is stupid right here. This looks like a Pokemon, like... This is stupid. I don't think this is healthy. So I think Deoxys defense, I don't know if it's going to get looked at yet, but I think that that's probably the next stupidest thing to go. But other than that, let me know what Pokemon in the comments you think is, like, stupid. Raging Bolt is fun. I don't think is stupid. Roaring Moon, I don't think is stupid. Yeah, I'm looking at all these other mons. I mean, the metagame is still developing, so we still gotta let the smoke clear to determine what is stupid. I think the stupidest thing, which was Terapagos, is gone. Now I think that the dust can settle. Darkrai is honestly not great. I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, I've goofed people with Darkrai, Nasty Plot, but it's definitely counterable. Like, special defense, you get a special defense mon, it's Blissey walls this thing, unless you have, if you run Psyshock, you could get by Blissey, but, like, I don't know why you would do that, because it'd probably be more, it's definitely more beneficial to have coverage like Ice Beam or Psychic or something like that, and then it's walled by Blissey, but a lot of things are walled by Blissey, man. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'm surprised Baxcalibur did not get banned. I mean, did not get unbanned. I thought Baxcalibur would be good, but hey, this has been why the turtle has been banned. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to be doing more competitive content. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.